and welcome back to Racing Rubbish, all you rubbish racers. On this series, as you know, we take junk cars from the junkyard, rebuild them with junk parts, and take them to the racetrack, set down a lap time, and then we improve them as best we can from there. None of these parts, as good as they are that good at all. But they run, they work, they do their job. The car has been on the track. It's a pretty good lap time. And because I have random events turned on, I came out here one day, my back tire was missing. So I had to find a new set of back tires from something. And have you ever tried to record a video, get about an hour into it, and then realize your microphone was muted? Yeah, that happened to me. I did a whole video series on this only to realize that my mic wasn't quite turned on. It's got a little flipper switch type of thing, and it didn't fully click the whole distance. So here I am again. So anyway, in that unaired episode, I have this car, which is a Hellcat, and I was looking for parts to improve it. In the level 5 junkyard challenge, at level 5 you can go to the junkyard, which opens at level 5. At level 10 the barns open, and at 15 the auctions open. So normally when you go to the junkyard, it's hard to find anything better than maybe upper 30 lower 40s, other than the occasional spare parts in the piles, which, yeah, they're, like body panels and things like that. Then occasionally some other minor stuff, but not normally good stuff like nice air cleaners. But there usually is one or two, for what you build, depending, a good part. So you got to check the piles. But when it comes to the barns, you pay a lot more for a little better quality. A lot of stuff's in the upper 40s and 50s, sometimes 60s, but that's about it. But you pay a lot more, the profit margin is smaller. So when you can, I hate it when it does it. When you can find a whole nother car that's in really pretty good condition, this is where I spent an hour debating. Do I take, well, when I bought this car, there wasn't even a motor in it. And it was missing a lot of the front suspension, and it was missing a lot. The body was clean. The parts were in really nice condition. As you can see, everything's got a lot more silver on it. The exhaust, stuff down here, like if you look over here, you'll see that the motor is completely built, but the suspension doesn't have any number on it because I didn't touch it. Yeah. Well, that was on the car, and that was not. So yeah, if it's white, it was on the car, and I didn't have to touch it. It only had one back tire and one front tire, so I had to find a set of tires to put on it. And I was debating, do I take those parts off of there to put on here to improve this car? Or do I take all the goodies off of this one and put on this one, which is a much better car? Well, as you can see, I got two cars, so I obviously decided to just build a whole new motor with the best stuff I had, finish up all the suspension components and missing parts with the best I have. And now we have this car, which is completely up and running. And it's a 317 class, which this one is maxed out at 300. 301, we go to the next class. So this is top of the class. So now this car is going to have a hell of a time winning races in the 301 to 400 range. And it's going to take an awful lot of better parts to improve what's already in here. to make it faster. So I was tempted. Do I bring it down to 300? Because I'm sure I can put on some shittier parts and bring the number of the 317 number down to the 300 range. Pretty easy. But either way, both cars work. They both run on the racetrack. They both run on the drag track. This one's a little outmatched in its class. Then over here we have yet another race car ready to go. Runs and drives and does its thing just fine. Gets its ass kicked. Well, yeah. I think it needs one part, maybe? What does it need? Oh, windshield washers, shot. Everything else is good. Yeah, I don't think that really matters, but it might. Anyway, I haven't run it on the dyno. But I know it runs, it drives, I can hop in it and start it, so it should do just fine. This was our second car that we bought, and got it up and running and driving and doing its thing, and everything is good so far. This one here is a rolling chassis. It currently has what's left of a motor. And in my finding barn cars and etc., I found some nice body panels that I pulled off. You know, I got it cleaned up a little bit. A little van. This one is a eventually project, because just a gorgeous car. Buick Boat Tail Riviera. Yeah, one of my favorites. The Chevy dually truck over here, it's a work in progress. This one I'm probably going to be doing in the background as a private personal build, where I can use the shop to buy parts for, simply because I want to, because this is just gorgeous. I hate when I turn and it spins. So anyway, I went through that whole do I swap parts back and forth or one direction or the other, and decided to just go with build this one all by itself. Which brings us to the next step, because the first car, nothing's changed parts-wise stuff, and I still can't rebuild any parts yet. Right? So if I go over to the workbench here, I don't have any necessary parts, but I can't rebuild anything. Is my inventory empty? Really? Okay, well, I'd have to put something in my inventory in order to prove it, but yeah, I can't repair anything. So here, let me go find something. What's repairable here? B-clip, maybe? Cam bearing, I know them are. Right, as you can see, I need to be level 1 in order to repair either of these parts, which I cannot do. And that's where the barn comes in, because when you go to a barn, you find the better cars, you take the parts off of them to improve the one you have, normally. But now that the barn and the auctions are all open, because you get cases that level you up way too fast, I'm debating if I want to do level 1 and take the entire suspension off, repair what's able, put it all back on just to get that much out of the way, which really sucks because there's a lot of parts you can't touch. And in level 2, there's more parts you can touch, which means I'd be taking it apart, put it back together again. And in level 3, 4, 5, etc. And once you get to 6, you can finally do body panels. So this one at 300, I'm going to try to keep at 300 just to stay at the top of the class, maybe do some suspension work in the background at times. This one is over 300, so I would like to find better motor parts if I can somewhere. I'd like to get it in the 350 range just to be better comparable with others. And the other part that sucks is in the dyno. This one hasn't been there. Let's take this to the dyno. It's just faster than walking. Over here, you can tune the gearbox, the ECU, electronic control unit, and the carburetor if you have tuning parts, which the only way to get tuning parts is to buy them brand new from the shop, which I don't do in the Racing Rubbish series. So there's zero tuning. So if I make a car 400 or even my 300 car out there with zero tuning parts on it and zero tuning applied, that's the maximum it's ever going to run up against people with the exact same car at the same exact number with tuning. It just kind of, yeah, it makes it hard. So anyway, let's get a number on this one. Get that out of the way so we know where we're at here. Wow. Yeah, that's a low number. We ain't even in the 200 series range, but we have a number, and that's a start. So at 163, we're not doing that great. Let's just put it that way. However, 163 out of 200 is a lot better than 317 out of 400. So I think this one stands a better chance in its class versus this one in its class, but nowhere near as good as that one. So anyway, these two cars will eventually be upgraded and improved and etc. This one, I don't, yeah, 127. This one's not much better. 163. They both compete against each other. So anyway, I'm going to actually work on the trying to find better parts, and I think we are going to do this one. So now I can upgrade anything that's repairable in the level 1, but nothing in level 2. So now I can have 100% brand new battery. I can have a 100% new brake pads or caliper, rotors, drums. Yeah, drums and rotors. I cannot do body panels, but I can now do either of these, which honestly, it's a pain in the ass. It's boring. I wish they wouldn't have added that part to the game. I like the old version. Just spam the button. So anyway, if I replace one, let me see, currently 317. That one was at 75. And the new one is at 100. And we're still at 317. So it wasn't a performance-based part, which is good. So I'm not sure which all parts they count as part of the performance option. Because the way they make you not able to start an engine because the valve cover is bad, I don't understand non-car guy mentality. For all I know, it's far leftist, stupid Democrat policy shit. For all I know, whatever. The point is, now I can upgrade some parts for that car if I want to. If they don't change the number on here, I'll probably swap it on that car and try to keep it at 300. This one, I do think I will try to bring it down to the 300 range out of the 317. And these, I will do my best to bring them up and above so we can get more competitive chances with them. Meanwhile, building that one and that one. Now, I'm not sure what I'm doing with the Corvette yet. It was just pretty, and it's just pretty. So I'm going to leave it over there. So anyway, that is an update on the Racing Rubbish series. Meanwhile, I'm going to go to another barn, junkyard, or somewhere and find more better parts as best I can. And we will see what happens from there. So until next time, thanks for stopping by. Keep the rubber on the road, not the shiny potty panels. And we shall see you next time. Bye. Yeah, welcome back. I found something interesting as I was looking for better parts that I have and testing them on this one here. It's still at 317. I was trying to bring it down and such thereof. I stumbled on something rather interesting. This is at 100, which kind of threw me for a loop, the little B-clip thingy. And then I had a belt. The one that was on the car was a 46. I replaced it with a 44. No change. I still have my drag rating. So I was like, okay. I found a really decent, nice valve cover. So I went over to this one and I swapped it onto here. And it retained its drag rating. So I'm like, okay, change, from bad to really good, a 77. I mean, the other one was probably 18 to 20-ish, whatever. It wasn't very good. 30, whatever, something like that. So I went over to this car, and I put that valve cover on here, 38. It didn't change the drag rating. So I'm like, all right, cool. So then I put this belt on there, and it did change the drag rating to a 301 from a, what did I have here? A 26. It originally had a 17 on the valve cover. It had 26 on the belt. And I'm like, okay, so I can change the belt. So I thought if it's an orange part and it stays in the orange part category, it can bring it up to the maximum, which I believe was 49% would stay in the orange. After that, you go into yellow parts, which are 50 up to 70 something, 79 maybe, whatever it is. And then you get into the green parts. Something, okay, I got this simple little B clip here, right? This one's at 19. And as you can see, I'm at exactly 300 on my drag rating. I pulled this one off and put this one on, and it changed my drag rating to a 301. So yeah, one little change in part up to the next level, and it jumped to the next level drag rating. So I just got back from the dyno with it, getting it back to showing me my numbers. So I just thought I'd let you know that. If the part is yellow, push it to the maximum yellow. If you're trying to get up levels, or like here where I'm trying to go from 317 down to 300, anything that's yellow that I can bring down to orange should reduce that. And that is what I'm going to try and do. So at this moment, I think I have a lesser coil, a lesser fuel filter, two simple little parts, right? And we were at 317 with that one. All right, so now we need to find a coil and a fuel filter. We'll take an 18. Shit, might as well take a 28. And let's go see what that does to it. It should reduce the overall and therefore make it less. And this is what I mean by going from an orange part to a yellow part, etc. Yeah, it cleared the drag rating, and therefore now I have to go back to the dyno and get a new drag rating. So this is kind of some of the stuff you have to do in order to figure out if you want to go down in class or if you need to go up, which parts are priority. Because if you already have yellow parts on it and you replace it for yellow one, it's not going to do any different. But if you take a yellow into a green or an orange into a yellow, it should make some big improvements. .316, so we dropped 1. Yay, whoopee, right? Alright, well, looks like I got a lot more parts to figure out. I guess I know what I'll be doing for a bit. Yeah, I'd hate to do it in here, so. Anyway, I'm going to continue to detune this thing down as best I can, and I'm thinking maybe carburetors next, carburetor and air cleaners, because those are performance type parts, so we'll reduce that and go from there. So, till next time, bye!